Hello, everyone, and welcome to Money Mondays. My name is Belinda Ray. I am the Director of Strategic Partnerships here at GPCOG, and I'm here alone today. My colleague, Paul Johnson, is at work, but he's on a panel for Small Business Administration over at the RU. So he's not here. You've just got me today. That means it's going to be halftime. We'll get you out of here even quicker than usual. But then it means like Paul's not talking while I figure out how to share my screen. Because a year in, I still can't do it seamlessly. I don't know if I ever will. Okay, so today I wanted to talk to you about NEA grants for arts projects, but I put on here so that I don't forget to mention it. We are going to take a holiday break. There will be no Money Mondays next week or the week after. So June 30th, July 7th, we will be back here with you on Bastille Day. So be ready to celebrate that. So NEA grants for art projects. The National Endowment for the Arts is this NEA, not National Education Association. And grants for arts projects is also called GAP. And right now we're talking about GAP 2. It is the second round in fiscal year 26. And there are typically 1 or 2 rounds every year. This has been changed up a little bit as many grants were kind of pulled back, reviewed, and put back out with slightly different parameters or different requirements in some cases. But this one has a lot of similarities with the way it was before. The eligibility is the same: nonprofit, tax-exempt 501c3s, state and local governments, so municipalities, and federally recognized tribes. And for these grants, you have to have a 5-year history of arts programming, but don't panic. We'll go through the rest of these. SAM.gov registration, most of you probably have that. If you don't, you should just get it. It's something that is free. You get it, you re-up every year with the federal government, and it allows you to apply for and receive federal awards. For this grant, there are many, many, many categories, and you can only submit one per calendar year. So 2 rounds, many categories, 1 application per year. There are some exceptions. So if you are, say, the University of Maine or Southern Maine, University of Southern Maine, and you want to submit for something, and then there's an independent component of the university like WMPG, probably they can both submit, even though it's kind of one organization, because there is an independent component and there's no overlap between the grants. Then they could apply. So there are a few exceptions, but for the most part, 1 per year. And I said, don't panic about the 5-year history of arts program, because you can have partners for this. So if you do not have the 5-year history, you might partner with someone who has the 5-year history of arts program. If you're going for an education grant, your schools definitely have a 5-year history of arts programming. So as I said, the GAP program, grants for arts projects, funds projects in 16 different categories. And these are the categories. And I wanted to highlight one of them, Our Town. Our Town was its own grant at one point in time. It was a separate grant process, grant cycle. What they have done is streamlined things for the National Endowment for the Arts and put all of these grants into one pot. So there was always GAP, but now GAP has folded in a few other things, and this makes the application process simpler for them, easier to review. Our Town, as you will recall, I covered on a Money Mondays last June, and that one's linked here. And that is the placemaking, the creative placemaking grant that they do. And so those beautiful birds on the back cove are a great example. When you do placemaking, when you create these beautiful murals to create walkable space, separated out from your traffic and parking, those kinds of things are creative placemaking grants. Excuse me. And we have a great example, a local winner, Creative Portland, did the Creative Bus Shelters initiative in Portland, and you see those beautiful bus shelters around. That's something that was funded with an Our Town grant. So Our Town, like I said, is one piece of all of these GAP program, and there are many other areas you can apply in. So what you do is you get in there and you figure out what area do you want to apply in. This is the website for the opportunity, and you'll log in there, or not log in, you just go there, and you'll see this Grants for Arts Projects page, and it gives you the information about them, and the application instructions are there. And then if you keep scrolling down, you'll see, boom, there's a different application for every single one of those 16 different categories, which sounds complicated, but it's great because what they do is make sure you're only giving the information you need for that particular opportunity. So you figure out which one you want, that's the one you download, that's the one you follow the instructions for. It is a two-step process. So there's a very basic form that would take you like 10 minutes to fill out on grants.gov. That one you have to submit by July 17th. And on that one, you indicate which area you intend to apply in. And then on July 22nd, the application portal opens. You go back to grants.gov and you log in and you submit an application. Now on this PDF that you can download, it has every application question, so you can be prepared before you get to the point where you start inputting things online. It is a situation where you don't have to fill it out in one sitting. You can fill it out, save, leave, come back, and keep going. And it is nice because it does walk you through the whole thing, so you can't miss anything. You're going to have everything. It won't allow you to submit until everything is done. So you start filling in on July 22nd. You have to have it finished by July 29th. So once that portal opens, it's a week to basically copy, paste, and maybe do some editing of what you have come up with for answers to all of those questions. So the minimum funding here is $10,000. The max is $100,000. It is a one-to-one cost share, but that match does not have to be secured at the time of your application. You'll need to show it in the budget where you think that match is coming from. And this is where you use words like pending, this match is pending, it's unsecured, or it's uncommitted. That's okay, but you have to have a one-to-one match accounted for. And obviously, if you get the grant, you're going to have to come through with that. For this round, you submit July 29th. They're going to notify you early to mid-April of next year. And then the earliest this project can start is June 1st of 2026. So lots of time to get organized. And then you have a up to 2 year period of performance. And they want to be very clear. This is not so that you can do one project twice, one year and then another year, repeat it. This is for the full project. So they want you to have time to plan it, implement it, close it out, and report on it. That's your 2 years. There's a pretty good probability here based on past applications. So it's not totally reliable probability, but the last time, they anticipate based on last time 4,500 applications, and they think they're going to fund 2,075 of them. So that's about 46% they expect to get funding. As long as you're meeting all the guidelines, you've got a pretty good shot. The difficulty here is a 5. This notice of funding opportunity is a little confusing because there are so many little pieces and you have to do the one piece of the application and then come back and do the rest. But once you kind of figure it out, you figure out which discipline you want to apply in, that discipline specific PDF walks you through all the steps. And there are limits on how much you can enter. And so for the project description, it's a 5,000 character limit. That includes the spaces. So that's about 1,000 words, maybe 3 to 4 pages. That's not huge. It's kind of hard sometimes to explain a full project that quickly. So you don't have to be verbose. 5 on the difficulty level. So the first piece of the application, the SF424, which is your application, your information about your organization, and also indicating what discipline you're applying in, by July 17th, the application by July 29th. Here is where you can go to learn more. There's the opportunity website. There is a webinar available. You can look at past winners You can search by organization, category, keyword. If you want to find all the main applications, don't put in MAINE, put in ME in the state field, and you'll see main winners from the past. They have an applicant resources page. And then, of course, if you're looking at our town, that previous Money Mondays, I checked the NOFO, the current NOFO, it's very, very similar. So if you want to learn more about that one, you can go back and see that Money Mondays. So that is what I have for you today. And Paul is hopefully having a smashing time over at the Rue Institute. And like I said, we're not here next week or the week after, but we will be back with you to storm the Bastille on the 14th. So enjoy your 4th. Happy 4th, everybody. Enjoy all of that. Stay cool, and we'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.